I thought I was building a family with the love of my life, until he gave me an STD while I was pregnant. When I uncovered the full truth, I took control in a way he never expected. I'm currently 8 weeks into my pregnancy. I had gone for a routine pap smear and STD screening. A few days later, I tested positive for gonorrhea. I had never cheated on my husband, and never expected that he would cheat on me. When I confronted him with the test results, he seemed genuinely shocked and insisted there had to be a mix-up with the results. He swore up and down that he had been faithful, and there was no way that it could be true. I insisted that he get tested. He agreed to do it, and as the days passed, he admitted that he had met a woman online and had sex with her. He claimed it was a mistake and he couldn't answer why he did it. He said the woman meant doing to him, and it was a one-time thing. I'm disgusted and feel betrayed knowing that he put me at such risk. Our pregnancy was planned, so we were actively trying before I got pregnant, and he had no regard for that. The thought of continuing the pregnancy while dealing with this betrayal is overwhelming. I'm considering having an abortion because the idea of bringing a child into the mix is crazy to me. I don't think I can ever forgive him. I feel like crap for thinking of having an abortion. I just can't see myself continuing this marriage and having a baby with him. Relevant comments from OP. I'm already on the verge of losing my mind just from knowing he had unprotected sex with a random woman, risking my life and our unborn baby. I would rather not dig into what he's been up to online, as I think that would cause even more pain for me. Commenter, does the STD risk the health of the baby? I think many of them do. With that in mind, I would end the pregnancy unless you are in your late 30s or 40s and really think this is your one shot at a child and it's your greatest dream, to the extent of doing it single. Definitely terminate the marriage. He is a slimeball. OP, it was caught early and I was treated. Me and baby are safe. Update, finally decided to find out the truth about his affair. I figured out my husband's email password and discovered that he's been on dating sites for months. I also found a woman's name and email address from hotel bookings he forwarded to her. I googled her information, found out where she worked, and called her. When she picked up, I got scared and hung up, but she called back, and we had a long conversation. She said that she didn't know he was married and kept apologizing. She told me that if my husband and I have been intimate in the past few weeks, I should get tested because he gave her an STD. I was shocked because I thought she had given it to him. She said he gaslighted her, making it seem like she got it from someone else. I told her he did the same to me. I didn't mention that I'm pregnant. She said she cut him off and is considering suing him over it. They met on Tinder and had been seeing each other for 6 months. Although I initially thought she should have known he was married, I believe her because my husband isn't on social media. He has an Insta account but doesn't post pictures. She confirmed that they had sex multiple times, contradicting his claim that it was a one-time thing. She said they spent time in hotels until she felt comfortable inviting him to her apartment. We came to the conclusion that she was just one of the women he was involved with because he gave both of us an STD. Hearing all this made me sick, knowing there are other women. I feel stupid for not realizing what was going on and probably wouldn't have found out if it wasn't for the STD results. My husband doesn't know what I've discovered or that I've spoken to her. This is incredibly tough. I'm heartbroken and conflicted about whether I should schedule an abortion, but finding this out is pushing me towards that decision. Relevant comments. Commenter, it's heartbreaking that you have to make this choice at all. Until recently, you thought your marriage was intact and this pregnancy was wanted. But I'd really consider whether you want to be tied to this man for the rest of your life and have to co-parent with someone who was this cavalier with your health and well-being. OP, I wish I didn't have to make this tough decision. I don't want to co-parent with him, but at the same time, I feel so bad about having an abortion. My fear is that it might be a big regret that I won't be able to get over. It's so frustrating because each decision is heartbreaking, either way. Commenter, how did she not suspect he was married, even though she had never been to his house or met his important friends and family in 6 months? Remember, the baby is innocent and half of you. OP, she's actually met one of his close friends who's also married, which might mean that his friend is also having an affair. I don't know for sure, but if his friend is okay. With meeting my husband's AP, my guess is he, too, has an AP. I'm pretty sure his wife, who is my friend, doesn't know about this. Commenter, the most important gift you give your child is an amazing father. It sounds like you have a horrible narcissist on your hands. If you go through with this pregnancy, he will be in your life for the rest of your life and play horrible mind games on you and your child. Going through pregnancy is one of the most vulnerable experiences of your life. When you're pregnant, you risk injury or death. Imagine if something happened to you, you and your newborn baby were handed to this monster as the sole caretaker of an innocent life. Be thankful you have clarity now, while you still have time to make decisions and truly think of your future. You can't trust anything he says about improving. He is capable and willing to lie without remorse. If he feels bad, it's just that he feels bad for getting caught, not for cheating. OP, if I decide to go through with this pregnancy, I would want nothing to do with him and would prefer that he not be part of this experience or the child's life. I know that's selfish to say, and it's also impossible because he will make our lives hell. New update, I'm almost 10 weeks pregnant. I've scheduled an abortion, and I'm feeling so guilty about it. My mind keeps changing. Should I have my baby? I'm terrified that I'll regret it and feel terrible for terminating an innocent life. I'm also anxious about the possibility of never being able to get pregnant again. But then I think, maybe I'm doing the right thing. The thought of dealing with this man for the next 18 years is overwhelming. We'd still be in each other's lives because we'd share a child. I'm just all over the place, and I feel sick having to make this decision. We haven't spoken in weeks. He doesn't know I'm planning an abortion. Not sure if I'm doing the right thing by not letting him know about it. I've filed for divorce, and it feels like I'm dealing with two major losses at once. I'm so stressed and unsure how I'll survive this. If I have an abortion, I can move on with my life peacefully. Cut all ties. Avoid custody battles. Never having to see or hear from him again. No longer dealing with his lies and deceit. If I keep the baby sad face list is from someone in my comments. Thank you. Him wanting to be there during your pregnancy. Him wanting to make decisions about your baby, from the name to anything else you can think of. His family and their opinions. Him wanting to be there during the birth. Him and his family trying to gaslight your child into believing you're a bad person and daddy is perfect. Him being your child's role model. Having to ask for his permission to make decisions like traveling or where you live. Your child having a stepmom and maybe step-siblings who might not treat him well. Your child meeting multiple girlfriends. You being forced to let him take care of the child. He will be free to have a parenting style completely different than yours, and if he's immature and petty he might do things the opposite way you like them to piss you off. Dealing with his emotional, mental, financial issues, never knowing whether he's telling the truth or lying about all kinds of things. Did he feed the baby? Did he take care of his cold the way you told him to? Why did the child get hurt? Could you trust him to be sincere? Could you trust him to be honest if he makes a mistake that hurts your child, even if coming clean would help the child? Or will he hide it and lie the way he did with his cheating? Don't tell mommy we did this. You saw this. I told you this. You ate this. Him being nosy about your personal life, including when you start dating or get into a relationship or marry. I'm his father, I have a right to know who's the guy he's gonna live with, and crap like that. You can be sure your romantic life would suffer if he behaves that way. Not many good men want to get involved in that kind of situation. Him using the kid to manipulate you. Relevant comments. Commenter, every single point you have made is absolutely valid. He will use the child against you. He might even think that having the baby is his way back to you. You'll need help or feel differently once the baby is here. Anything is possible. OP, he might try to use the baby as a way to get me back, and I'm not sure if I'd be strong enough to resist, especially with all the hormones from being pregnant. But taking him back is not an option for me. There's no way we can move forward from this. I don't trust him anymore, and what he did to me is unforgivable. OP, think of it this way. The person who is supposed to defend and protect you is so selfish that he gave you and possibly your baby an STD just to satisfy a passing urge. This is who he is. Commenter, this would be the person making decisions on how to raise the baby. OP, he's not someone I trust to make decisions on raising our baby. Update, I had an abortion yesterday, and I'm not sure how to feel. It was a difficult decision, but I believed it was the right one. There was no way I could keep the baby under these circumstances. Now, I just feel numb. I haven't told him, and we haven't spoken since I left him after discovering he gave me an STD. I know that when he finds out, he'll likely try to paint me as the worst person. I'm not sure if he deserves to know the truth, or I should just say I had a miscarriage. Moving on to the next story, and it says, AITA for not trying harder to let my ex know our son passed. Both myself, F, and my partner, M, were 28 when I found out I was pregnant. Together 4 years. Personally, I didn't want the child. My work was offering potential advances within my position and I was excited for it. But after a lot of talking, we decided to go forward with it. When I was around 20 weeks, just after finding out the gender, he disappeared. I couldn't contact him, he wouldn't answer the phone or messages. I got worried and messaged his mother and found out he was living back with her and was overwhelmed with the situation. He kept paying his part of the bills over to my bank each month, but I received no contact. I even tried going over, nothing. By about 27 weeks I gave up trying, gave up crying and just got on with what I thought was a future as a single mother. I brought everything needed over the next couple of weeks and set it all up. At 31 weeks I started having pains, but put it down to Braxton Hicks. Just before 32 weeks my waters went and I went into labor, with the baby coming very quickly. He went straight to NICU. I messaged and rang my ex and his mother, no response. Less than a week later, my son passed due to complications of early birth. I again tried to contact my ex and his mother. Left voicemails and messages. Nothing. The next few weeks were a blur, but with the help of my mother and father his funeral was arranged. They tried to contact ex and his mother also, still nothing. I sent more messages, nothing. I'm assuming we were probably all blocked, but honestly at that point I didn't care. I was so broken. His funeral came and went. It was beautiful and horrible. I stopped messaging and told my family not to bother after the funeral had passed. I couldn't deal with it anymore. About 5 months after his birth/death my ex turned up. Let himself in. I wasn't at home, but when I got back he was instantly hostile. The flat was clearly not set up for nor accommodating a small child. He demanded to see his son. I broke down and told him what happened. I have never seen him so sad and angry. He stormed out, slamming the door on his way out. Within half an hour I got a nasty call from his mother, followed by messages from siblings/other family. How dare I not let them know something so serious? How could I hide something like that out of petty spite? I truly didn't. I tried. But I couldn't keep trying. It's been nearly 3 weeks now of them being awful. I was speaking to my sister this weekend and she said, TBF, it was a bit of a dick move to not keep trying. They deserve to know, was it? I tried so hard to let him know, but I was struggling so hard too. I lost my son too. Ida? Should I have done more? Edit, thank you all so much for your responses. Sorry for not replying to any. Reading them has been a lot. Honestly, I'm going to drink a bottle of wine, or two, read your kind responses and cry myself to sleep. Writing this all out and living it again has been hard. Unfortunately, I'm not able to change the locks, landlord said no, but my tenancy ends on the 12th of June and I already have a new flat to move into. And thankfully my dad has been able to cover the cost of a private therapist and I see her again Tuesday. Thank you all so much again for your kind words. Second edit, if I had realized this was going to blow up so much then I probably would have just posted to my main. If you see this post anyway, read it Lewis. Then read it again. Then read the comments. Then just leave me alone. Thank you all for your comments. I'm going to show my therapist the post when I see her and talk it through, but honestly it has helped a lot. Even if I did cry quite a bit. I'm going to sleep now and won't be back on this post. But thank you all. Update, 2.5 months later the previous post was locked, but I've had a few messages asking after me, so before I leave this account completely I just wanted to let people know I'm alright. The move went smoothly, I'm far enough away that there is no risk of bumping into my ex or his family. I changed my number and deleted all social media, so haven't had anything from them personally for about 6 weeks. My sister apologized for what she said, and we've spoken a lot about it all. I definitely don't think our relationship is the same, but we're okay. I still hear they're speaking badly about me from friends, but I try and ignore it. I'm in therapy still and am trying my hardest to move forward with everything. I visit my son's grave when I can. Thankfully my ex and his family care so little about more than themselves they never asked where he is buried, so I can do so in peace. Thank you all for everything you said. I have found myself going back to the previous post a lot over the last couple of months and it has helped more than I can express. I'll be leaving this account now, but again, thank you. Relevant comments, can you explain what your sister said or was thinking? My dad chewed her out in a big way when he found out what she said to me. She said that she didn't realize how much we tried to contact him and thought it was like when I was pregnant, that I decided not to bother with the ex anymore and just do it all myself. Honestly, it seems like bullshit. My parents were my support throughout everything, but my sister wasn't so absent she didn't know we rang and messaged a lot. But her apology did seem genuine, and she has had nothing nice to say about how they've been since. If anyone's going to blow up at them, it'll be her, but my dad said to leave it and let them ruin themselves. Update, 8 months later forgot about Reddit till I was clearing out some apps for phone space. Thought I'd send out a final update before I send the app to the void. Wish I could say things are amazing. Great job. New partner. Blah blah blah. But it's nothing as great or exciting as that. Moved into my new flat last year and it's nice. Forgot how expensive it is to live alone, but I'm managing. I did end up getting a new job. Its pay is about the same, job role also, but the ex doesn't know where it is. He didn't show up at his old job or anything exciting like that. I just wanted a new start along with my new home. No new partner, I don't have it in me to date yet. Sister stuff, we're LC. She apologized, but she still speaks with her ex on occasions, according to my mum. Nothing dramatic and Reddit style like, OMG, they're actually secretly foo*king and have 5 babies and blah. Just that my sister will talk to him if they bump into each other. But honestly, kinda hurts after everything. Still in therapy, I doubled the length of sessions around the 1-year date of my son's passing. Thankfully, my ex didn't turn up at his grave, or at least not when I was there. I'm not gonna go into it too much, but it sucked, it hurt a lot, and I spent quite a few days drunk and crying in bed after the visit. My dad has been my rock through this all. I'm still paying him back for everything. He waves me off when I say I'm gonna pay £X amount this month, but I know his bank cries LOL. We have a morning together on a Sunday where we just drink tea, catch up, maybe put on the F1. It's nice and I love the time together. But basically, just boring, thankfully. No ex contact nor his family, no massive life changes. Just one foot in front of the other. I reread everything I posted last year and read loads of the comments again, and I just want to say thank you. I was in a really bad place mentally, and it was hard to see that I wasn't the villain in this. A mixture of therapy and all the comments helped. So, thank you all. Bye-bye. Alright, moving on to the next story, and it says, I took care of my little brother like a son, then discovered he is actually my fiancé's kid, with my mom. I burned it all to the ground. My fiancé, 25M, and myself, 24F, have been together since we were 17 to 18 years old. Honestly, he was always kind, handsome, funny, and everyone used to say I was so lucky to have the whole package. I felt so lucky too. He always treated me with love and respect, so this makes everything just so shocking for me. I have always had a good relationship with my mom, it has always been her and I against the world. My dad died in an accident when I was little. We always joked we are the real-life Rory and Lorelai from Gilmore Girls. My mom dated guys on and off and they were usually cool, but nothing really past the early stages. Around 4 years ago my mom told me she was pregnant, which was a huge surprise. My mom was around 42 years old, and although she was sort of dating someone recently, didn't meet the guy but knew she went on dates, it still was a big shock. She never thought she could be pregnant at her age. She had me when she was super young, an oopsie, and I can tell she was stressed and worried. I decided to support her, since she has always supported me, and tried to reassure her. She then had my brother, who is now 3 years old. I have a close relationship with my brother. I have helped taken care of him since he was born and I just love the little guy. My fiancé was also always helpful with my brother. We would take him out for ice cream, playground, pool time during summer, etc. But nothing was weird, he was just my then BF, spending time with my brother and I. Now, to the how I found out. My fiancé and I lived together since we finished college. My fiancé was not at home since he was hanging out with friends, but I was home BC. I didn't feel like going out and just wanted to chill on my sofa. At some point during binge watching a series on Netflix, my laptop died, and I was too lazy to go get my charger, so I just took my fiancé's iPad. I know the password, but honestly never used it before. The iPad logged in, and I got a bunch of messages pinging. I guess he hasn't used it in a while, too. Anyways, this got my attention and I went to check it out, and OFC, I found everything. My mom's number wasn't under her name, but I recognized the number and verified it with my phone. She was telling him she felt guilty and that I should know. He said he also felt guilty, but couldn't lose me, and they ***ed it up. She said that it was unfair for my brother to never know his dad, and that if he could live, he would have his son around, not behaving like a dad but a brother-in-law. I broke down. What the actual F? There weren't a lot of older messages, just some photos stored of my brother as a newborn, my mom pregnant, and more photos of my brother growing up in an album. I couldn't anymore. I cried for what seemed like ages, and I waited for my BF to come back home. I wish I were one of those women who can pretend and get things together before confronting the cheater, but I can't. He came back later that night, around 23:30, and I just gave him the iPad with the conversation opened and saw his face completely go pale. I asked for an explanation. When? How? Why? And he didn't want to at first, but knew he had to. Apparently a few years back while I was traveling with some friends, girls trip, my fiancé and mom had dinner together. This isn't strange since he has been part of the family for so long. Sometimes mom and fiancé would eat together at our place even if I was busy with sports or out. I did the same with his parents. Somehow, unclear how, since he couldn't explain it well, one thing led to another and they ended up sleeping together. They felt guilty but apparently not guilty enough. BC, they slept together 2-3 more times, using the excuse of meeting up to discuss how to tell me. Apparently when my mom got pregnant they stopped sleeping together and decided to not tell me, since my fiancé loved me and couldn't lose me, and my mom didn't want to lose her daughter. So here we are now, with two of the most disgusting humans. I obviously broke the engagement, told my mom to never talk to me again and move in with a friend. I feel bad for my brother since I really love him, but I can't be around him now, I just can't. I feel like it would remind me of all those times we talked about having kids. I would be his baby mama, only baby mama. We talked about this future since we were 17 years old, so I want to puke every time I think how I was actually taking care of his child with someone else, while still having those dreams. I want to puke. Editor's note: comments were mostly supportive, with a few telling their own stories of cutting parents off and a couple with tales of spouses sleeping with parents. How is this even a thing? People be crazy. Update: 4 days later. First, I want to thank everyone for the nice messages and comments. I was not expecting so much support. I'm still a mess, not gonna lie, but after reading the comments I felt better, like a therapy mini session, so again thank you all. To the update. As I was afraid, I was indeed confronted near my office this week. I knew this was coming but thought maybe I had more time. My ex was the person to come find me. Yesterday, Wednesday, after finishing work and walking to where my car was parked, my ex was sort of lingering, waiting around. I thought about running, not gonna lie, but I guess in the moment I felt strong enough to get over with it, instead of having that hanging above my head waiting to be approached again. He asked if we could talk and I said yes, but I didn't feel like having that conversation over coffee like we were old friends. It felt ridiculous, so I told him to just talk right there. We were in the streets but somehow it wasn't crowded, but also not completely lonely, felt right. He basically said sorry 100 times, and that I deserved better. I agreed. He said he did love me and that he still does, but he would understand why I wouldn't want anything to do with him. He said that if I did in fact consider giving him a chance, that he would go to therapy, alone or together or both, and that he would work hard to win my trust back. I told him it wasn't possible, there was too much damage. This sounds calm when I type it, but in the moment things came out more with louder tone and harsher words. Anyways, he did say that he is in the, or will be, it was a bit of a blur, process of getting custody, partly, from my brother, and that he in fact does want to be a dad to him. He said he does not want to be together with my mom, that it was just a stupid mistake, sure. BC 4 to 5 times mistake is just a random thing. He couldn't explain why he did it in the first place. I think he doesn't even know himself. I asked if he cheated with someone else before. He said no, not sure if to believe it, but he sounded honest. I asked why he didn't come clean, and he said that after he did the deed he always felt panicked and it hits him that he could lose me and he just didn't want to. I told him it was meant to be found out, that what was his plan? To have my brother around and ignore their relationship forever? He said he didn't think far enough and that he was basically going with the idea one day at the time type of survival. I asked him if he felt that my mom seduced him? He said it was mutual, which made me want to puke again. I asked if he has any contact with my mom since I found out. He said yes, but mostly about my brother, didn't elaborate more, and I didn't press for more info on that. He said he told his parents the day before or the day before that, not sure, Monday through Tuesday, about everything. The parents were not happy, but they are glad to start building now a relationship with my brother, their grandkid. Honestly, all of this felt like a punch in my stomach. I don't know why. The parents wanted to contacted me, but he told them to wait till he approached me first, hence why he was here. I said if he started or thought about the custody before I found out, and he said no, but when I found out was like the push he needed. Great, seems I helped him get his shit together. Ugh, and this past week he was arranging all of that mess. That's why he hasn't tried to see me before. He sounded and looked defeated, but the whole thing made me, besides sad, angry. I was mainly depressed before, but now I'm furious. I feel like he is still in an okay place and he isn't paying for his actions, beyond me leaving him. He will have my brother, his parents and others and move on with his life, while I lost everything. I hate him. We parted ways not on a happy note, and I told him to never get near me again. I was done. He asked me to see my brother still, that I was important to him, and tried to guilt trip me, and it worked, but I still think I can't. I don't know much about my mom and really hope she doesn't come find me anytime soon. BC, I'm fuming right now and won't be able to handle it. I will be contacting my family and friends and finally doing the blasting today. I think is about time, and after my talk with him, I got the extra push I needed. Editor's note: top comment suggested moving to Australia. Can't fault that line of thinking. Update 2, 3 days from last post, 7 from OG post. Hi everyone. Again, I want to say thanks for all the support on my last update. Honestly, like I said in my previous post, it really helped me a lot emotionally, all your comments and also all the advice I got, that being about moving abroad or what to say when I do the blast. Thank you. Update: a lot has happened. I did the blasting. And this is how it went down. I first posted on my family's FB group we share. This is from my mom's family side. I used inspiration of what you all suggested in my last post and said something around the lines of, I want to communicate to you all that my wedding with X has been permanently cancelled. since I found out that my mom, name, and my ex, name, had in the last few years a sexual relationship which resulted in the birth of my little brother, name. I had no clue of any of this, and I found out about it last week. I won't have moving forward a relationship with, name, mom, and ex, name, for obvious reasons. I would appreciate your understanding, and I felt it was only fair to let you know of the situation, since I value transparency and honesty above all. I also included a screenshot of my mother's message, what I said to her once I found out, and a message she managed to write back before I blocked her. Didn't open the message till before the blasting. I didn't want to hear, read, her and be persuaded. It exploded. I had family reaching out via text and calling the whole day after the blasting. I would say most were very supportive, and I could tell they were just shocked. There were a few neutral and some suspicious that it wasn't the whole story and maybe I misunderstood. My grandparents were in the "maybe you misunderstood" category, which it wasn't surprising since my mom is super close to my grandparents, and like I said before, my mom was always a good mom. So no red flags. I will be moving with a cousin that is more like a sister to me. I haven't reached out to her previously BC I knew once she knows everyone would, that's why I went to my friend's place. My cousin is devastated on my behalf and offered I live with her and her 2 kids until I can get my feet on the ground. I accepted and will be moving next week. I'm a bit afraid this will give my mom an easier access to me, but I can't stay at my friend's place forever. I then proceeded quickly to post a similar message for we share most of our friends since high school and local university, friends on Instagram. I created a close friends story and tagged most of them too. This went sort of viral in our friend group. Actually, one of my friends sent me my Reddit post and asked if this was me. I confirmed. They were also shocked and speechless. They never thought my ex would even remotely do anything like this. They said, "He was crazy about you." Oh well, apparently he went overboard on the crazy part. The group of friends is divided ATM, some are completely on my side, and some are thinking it isn't the whole truth. I told everyone that reached out that if they don't believe me to ask their friend if he is asking for custody of my little brother. That kinda shut them up for now. My ex deleted his social media apparently. Also, my ex's parents called me like I guessed they would. They were kind to me and were very sorry about everything. I got the feeling they are also overwhelmed and very disappointed. However, it was clear they will be supporting their son. They are very upset at my mother, and don't want anything to do with her, but not sure how that will work with my little brother and everything else. They tried to give me info about the custody and what is my ex up to now, but I shut that down quickly and told them I don't want any info, I want to move on. I also asked them to not reach out in the near future, that I needed distance, especially if they will be supporting my ex. He is living with his parents ATM. Also, my ex and my mother after the blast were going nuts trying to reach out to me. They tried calling my friend, who she blocked them, and reaching out from different numbers. I had to put my phone on silence and ignore everyone. However, my mother sent me a long text from another number, and that was a weird text. She said that I was being cruel and that she didn't think she raised me that way. She said she thought we had a better relationship than me blasting out laundry like that without talking to her first. That I didn't have the whole picture. She did mention something that confused me. She said in her long-ass text that the reason she slept with my ex is because he reminded him of my dad. That it was grief. That she didn't mean to use him to heal her pain, but she wasn't strong enough. I don't even know what that means. Like, did she think that my ex looks physically like my dad? Or personality? Or what? I have seen photos of my dad, and well, yeah, my ex isn't super different but also not super alike. I mean, they share brown/dirty blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin, but that's not so uncommon. I don't see what else. I don't know. That threw me for a loop and honestly makes me want to confront my mom just to know what the hell? From all the things she could say, I was not expecting that. I'm holding on better, I don't cry every hour or want to murder them. But, I'm still sad and upset, and it just feels like it isn't my life, that is a big joke or a bad dream, and I will wake up to my normal life. I also need to really start planning my future and start applying for jobs in other cities, or maybe check the possibilities abroad more seriously. I might ask for 2 to 3 days off work to really get my thought together and do some research. I'm terrified tbh. I feel frozen, but I know I need to start moving. Editor's notes, apparently he went overboard on the crazy part, is now a flare. This post has some funny comments. Commenter 1, that mom is hilarious. I thought I raised you better. I never in a million years thought you'd fuck my boyfriend, but here we are. Commenter 2, my petty ass would be sending her that. Commenter 3, right? The irony of her blaming you for airing laundry when she did that. Commenter 4, the laundry wouldn't be dirty if you hadn't fucked my boyfriend on it. New update, quick update, 26 days from last post, 33 from OG post. Hi all, my group of friends is divided. Some of his closest friends had been saying that I should give him another chance, that no one is perfect but he loves me, that he was always good to me and I shouldn't just turn my back on him. They even said that Max, little brother, and I could be a perfect little family and that I could make sure that my little bro has a good stepmom, who better than his blood relative, right? This is so bullshit. They are talking like he messed up on something minor or even medium. Like he lied about getting laid off work, or like he forgot to pay our bills for a month, like WTF. I have some girlfriends that are complete on my side and supporting me, which is nice. But our group friend isn't solid anymore and everyone is taking sides. I did have a conversation with Max on the phone though. I admit I had a bit to drink that night since I was coming back from meeting some friends for dinner and I had a few glasses of wine and a cocktail. But I remember the talk. Disclaimer, this is not the exact conversation but I will put what I remember on the best of my abilities. Me, do you think that you were groomed? Max, I never thought of that, but maybe? Me, how did you even get a crush on my mom? I thought we always hung out in a group and my mom wasn't really there more than a few minutes and passing by. Was it looks? Max, yes and no. I thought she was pretty and therefore the teen crush, but I then also tried to talk to her by passing through your house and ask if you were there, he knew I wasn't, and then had a chat with your mom. Me, was I always the second choice? Max, no, you aren't now. Me, and back then, when you asked me to be your GF? Max. Silence. Me, tell me the truth, please. Max, I don't know. I did like you, but I still had the crush. Me, do you want to be with her now? Max, God, no. Me, why did you do it, Max? Get her out of your system? So you still wanted her? Did you want her during the times we had sex? Max, no, don't. I only wanted you. I don't know. I felt like those YOLO moments. I thought I would give my teen self what he always wanted. I felt so stupid. Me, then why did you do it more times? Max, I really don't know. We were silent a lot and not long after we hung up. It was a short call, and honestly emotional. I was sort of drunkish and he seemed emotionally drained too. I feel stupid for opening up and calling him and asking those questions. I said 1,000 times I don't want to know more, but I was weak. Every time I feel like moving on I get hit again by everything. My brain can't understand yet. On my mom front, well, not a lot has happened. She continues to try to fix it. My grandparents reached out to me but I didn't answer. I'm sure they were trying to give me support, so. Update, 16 days from last post, 49 from OG post. Hi everyone. So I'm finally here with an update and a good one at that. I'm moving to Spain. I got the job as an au pair near one of the biggest cities in Spain. I'm so excited. I'm flying in a few days and starting, curse my American-centered date standards and my dyslexia, with the family. The kids are adorable too. I will be learning Spanish too, which I always wanted to do anyway, so it all feels like heaven sent. I haven't told almost anyone about it, just a few friends I trust and of course my cousin who I live with. Also my boss. My mother has been telling people I'm being mean to her when she wants to fix everything. She made a mistake and is trying to fix it, but I'm being difficult. She is just human. Not surprising. I'm now really coming to terms on how self-centered she is and has always been. I'm sad I lost the mom I thought I had. Feels like if she died. My new therapist, yes, I got one the last week, yay, said I'm grieving. Max has left me a bit alone since the last call we had. I heard he is focusing on my little brother and just staying under the radar. I have had some short phone calls with my little brother which has been bittersweet, but he is doing okay. He of course doesn't know what's really happening, but he is happy with having a new dad. It doesn't hurt as much as it did before, but still hurts. Thank you all for all the support. Commenter, for the record, Spanish men are hot. OP, heard they are also ladies men, but going with an open mind and also focusing on myself for now. I'm 100% not ready for a relationship or even a hookup, but eventually, let's see.